Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at the Transformers Decepticon Overlord. So as you probably know, Overlord is one of the most sought after Transformers from the G1 line. The original version came out in Japan in 1988, it was never released in America, and this version is the European version that came out in 1991. As you can see, the box sports the gold colour that we would see on the Transformers Classics reissues from around that time in Europe. We've got with two Energon minifigures, that's actually the little Power Masters or God Masters. The front of the box also showcases the base mode, the Mega Jet, the Giga Tank, and Overlord himself. This one actually features the original price tag, which I believe is German, DM, I think that's Deutschmarks, and it was $94.90. On the top of the box we've got includes detachable weapons and accessories, tank, a jet, a battle station, simultaneous transformation, ultimate transformation, robot fighting machine, integral weaponry plant, the power source. On this end of the box we can see all the different modes on a gold background, and on the other side those pictures have been cut out and reversed and put on a black and purple background. On the back of the box we have some specially done artwork featuring Overlord and the also European released motivators. We also get a little write-up with a more European version of the Overlord character. And we also have some of the later style tech spec card with a picture and his bio and the actual tech specs. By this point we'd got rid of the red decoders. So Overlord comes in a good old-fashioned styrofoam tray. Now if you're going to get one of these absolutely complete, there's a few little extra pieces of styrofoam you need to look for. First off, there's this big section. Then we have this very fragile little section, and also there's a little square piece that holds the gun in that just goes in that corner there. Now the Japanese version and the European version have slightly different coloured purples to them, and I think this set has been put together from different Overlords because these sections here are completely different to this kind of purple there. So within this box then we get the huge Mega Jet, we get the Giga Tank, we have the little car, we have this missile silo thing, we have Lord Giga and Lady Mega, we have the little gun that goes on top of the jet, we have these two radars for the base mode, and we have these three ramps also for the base mode. So my set also came with this plastic bag that features the instructions, and being European release there is no writing on this whatsoever. It's all done visually, so it doesn't matter what country you're from, you can still understand it. And we also have the original used sticker sheet. So these are the two God Masters that we get with this set. On the left we have Lord Giga, and on the right we have his wife, Lady Mega. And these figures both suffer from loose legs, unfortunately, and also the white figure does tend to go a little bit discoloured. You will also notice this one has gold chrome that tends to fade, and this one has silver chrome that has worn a little bit, but to be fair, these aren't too bad at all. So like all God Masters, these turn into engine blocks. So we'll do this one first. We simply fold the legs up like that, and that's it. That's the engine mode. We'll do the same with this one. Do have to just make sure that the arms are a little bit forward. And that folds up like that. So this is the Giga Tank. This is the vehicle driven by this chappie. This is Lord Giga, and he doesn't really sit in there, he just sort of lies, and you can close that bit there and he'll stay in there nicely. We've got the purple cannon on the front that does elevate. Unfortunately, due to the way this transforms, the turret does not turn whatsoever. Underneath there's some little wheels so you can at least roll it along. And we do get one accessory for the tank, and that is this bit. And that just plugs into a little hole on the top there. And then we have the Mega Jet. Now this thing is absolutely huge. We do have an opening cockpit at the front, and if we just lift that up you might be able to see there that we do tend to get a bit of paint scraping on the top of this. It's just due to the way the plastic is, the paint doesn't really stick to it very well. It's a common problem with Overlord. So we can put Lady Mega in there. At the top we have a little hole there that we can attach this gun to. So this really is one of the best jet mods in G1. This is up there with Jetfire. We have this little landing gear that you'll notice doesn't come anywhere near the bottom. That's because this section will come off and you can use it as a little mini jet. These nose cones, they're on a little hinge and they do tend to break off, so you have to be careful with those. And with these wings, you get these on a lot of Transformers, they do tend to go loose over time. And the last thing you want is these ones to just be dropping down all the time. If we turn it around underneath, yes, we can see a head there. There is another canopy that's actually used for the base mode. We have this little section that will drop down, and we can flip out these guns, so you can have a little ground assault weapon. And underneath we've got landing gears there, and another one there. Now this isn't mentioned in the instructions at all, but in the original cartoon these two would combine. So if we take that bit out, and we need to take out the little Godmaster. Now all the Power Masters work on the same principle. You have a little piece where you put the engine, and there's two little buttons so that this is going to hit to. These you do have to be careful with because they do tend to get stuck quite easily. But we'll just push him into there, and that's now released these two bits. You'll see the gun just falls off, and we've now two separate halves. Then what you can do is flip these bits up, and you can actually plug these bits into the back of the jet to form a super jet mode. It does look a little bit daft. It was kind of an afterthought by the Japanese animation guys, I think. It's basically a tank stuck to the back of a jet, and it does make this very back heavy, and also you've got this big gap there. So next up is the base mode. So what we need to do is get rid of that gun, and we need to take Lady Mega out of there and transform it into the engine block, and then that's going to go into that bit there, which what this does is it releases these side sections so that the arms can turn. So next what we would do is turn these arms around and flip up the little cones, and then we can open this section, we can bring this up, and we can spin the top half of the jet around, and we can bring out these guns again. Then we have some little radar pieces, so if we slide these fists out, these actually just fit in the hands of the robot for this mode, like so. And finally for this section we just need to make sure that these flaps are folded back out of the way. So then we can come back to this tank section. Now we'll take this one first, and what we do with this, we fold that over and we flip that bit around. We've got a little ramp there, we've got a little gun there, and we can put the robot's main gun on the back, and we can also add that little piece there, and that's going to connect to the main base. And then we can do the same thing with this one. This one's slightly different in that it has a little repair arm that pops out. It's actually quite nicely articulated, and on this side we would put this gun. So then what we're going to do is put all these pieces together. Now we have these sloping ramps that will hook on. You'll notice that middle section is very unstable. These don't actually peg in, they just sit there, and they're not very well balanced, to be fair. And we can do the same on this side, and that will slot in. Get it right, just there. Then finally we have this little ramp that goes on at the front, and again that just sits there like that. So in this little section up at the top we can put our little Lord Giga in there, and he can be overseeing what's going on. So then we also have this strange little car. Now you can actually sit a figure in, but what you can do is put them into the engine mode, and you can clip them in like that, so they could be riding around the city in that little car. So as you can see, this is a pretty nice city mode. It does have quite a lot of play value. Unfortunately it's so unstable it's just going to fall apart if you were trying to play with it. But we've got some nice ramps, we've got some little features on the sides, more ramp at the front, and over this side we've got the cannons, the little radar thing. Not bad as base modes go. Okay, so Overlord does of course have one final mode to show off, and that is the robot mode. So we're going to need that little piece there. I really do hate taking these things out of these. I do feel like they're going to break. So we don't need the car, we don't need that ramp, we don't need those. We we don't really need that gun there. We don't need that gun. The rest of it though we are going to use. So we'll start with these two pieces, and these are going to form the legs. So we just fold these all the way, like that, and then there's this little bit there that's going to form a foot. And then we can take these ramp sections and plug them in like that. And then we can do the same with this one. Chuck it all in. And we've got the little foot again. And we can plug in the ramp as a shin guard. So with this piece, what we're going to do is fold them bits in, get rid of that gun, turn this back around, and then we're actually going to remove it completely. And then we're pretty much there really. We just move them down, bring around his arms, put his corns back up. Then we can attach the legs just like so, and that will now allow him to stand up properly. And we can then take the jet piece, and that'll actually fit onto his arm, and in this hand we can give him a gun. So if we take a closer look at his head, you can see that's a pretty nice head sculpt, and it does actually turn, which is rare for a G1 figure. Then we can open up these chest plates, and this is where you would store your Godmasters. And when we plug these in, it'll activate the little weapon underneath each one. And we'll do the same with this one. So Overlord's gun does feature firing missiles, and we get 3. These are very, very similar to Metroplex's missiles, almost identical in fact, and they can plug in quite nicely, and like all good Transformers, we can fire them. So let's take a good look at his robot mode then. This is one of the largest Decepticons that they ever did back in the G1 era. We've got the great head sculpt, the twin Godmasters, the pop-out weapons, we've got the firing cannon in his hand. We've got this jet thing that you can fly off and use as an attack vehicle. Got the big leg panels. Even round the back he's pretty tidy, there's not a lot of junk on there. A couple of tank treads and some fins, and that's about it. Very nice looking Transformer indeed. So there you go guys, that is the Transformers Generation 1 Decepticon Overlord. This has been Luke, thanks for watching.